This is the plaintiff, Devon Johnson. He says he agreed to buy a car from the defendant, but the guy changed the deal behind his back and ended up charging him $2,500 more than the agreed upon price. The defendant's dealership advertises there are no games and no gimmicks on their website. What a lie. He's suing for $5,000 for all he's now out. This is the defendant, Michael. He says the plaintiff has bad credit, so they secured a loan for him, which ended up having a high interest rate and fees associated with it. He explained everything to the plaintiff, and after a few months, the guy comes back complaining he got a bad deal. He's sorry if the plaintiff has buyer's remorse, but that's not his problem. He's accused of steering a customer wrong.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff agreed to buy a car from the defendant. The defendant changed the deal, and it cost a fortune more. But the defendant says the problem is the plaintiff's credit, and that's why he upped the price. It's the case of you give me no credit.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Devon Johnson, you are suing the auto dealer in question. You've asked not to mention the company by name, represented here by Michael. You've asked us not to mention your last name. And you have power of attorney by the owner to represent?
Yes.
Okay. So you're suing the dealership for $5,000 that you say they owe you in pain and suffering and overcharges that you feel they should pay you back. Tell me about what happened.
Yeah, so on the 28th of March, I was looking for some cars to buy, because I got out of identity theft. And I lost my license since 2005, and I'm just recently getting it back. So I was skeptical about who I deal business with.
Did you have a license suspension?
Yes.
You have a license suspension for tickets that were unpaid?
Yeah, well, it was for driving heavy music. It was somebody I registered the car for. They started using my license when he was getting pulled over until the license got suspended, and then he eventually got
You don't
caught.
have a license?
I have a license now.
You didn't have a license when you were buying the car?
I had a permit at the time.
Okay, so you weren't really supposed to be buying a car?
Probably not, yeah.
Okay, go on.
So, I looked over a couple websites. I seen this website. It said no games, no gimmicks on the website. So I called them up and I said, listen, is this the price of the car? He was like, yes, you come down, check it out. We don't really play any games here. The price is as is. You could come down and look at it. So then when I went down, I seen the car. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like it. So, we went over there. It was kind of late because it was after work. I get off work at 5. So I went straight there after work. And I kind of rushed it, to get there because it's like a couple miles out from where I live. And so when I went there, the guy seemed pretty fair. So, I was like, all right, I want it.
Okay.
So I went out, took some money out the bank, and he informed me that it was going to be a lot more money for my insurance because I came with $1,100 because I had a permit. So if I only had a permit, it was going to cost $1,100 for my insurance.
You were fine with that?
Yeah, because I was kind of anxious to jump in the car after all of this time for not really driving. I haven't been on the road since 2005.
And why could you just go to court and prove it wasn't you?
Because I was collecting a lot of evidence also as well. And then I found out I had a Class B misdemeanor. So it was huge.
According to you guys, he has terrible credit.
Yes.
Okay. And because of his terrible credit, he had to pay a lot of money in finance charges in order to borrow from you in order to pay for this car, in order to finance the car.
Correct.
All right. Do either one of you have a copy of the contract for the sale of the car?
Yes.
Okay. May I see both of your copies? And so why are you here?
Because he overcharged me $2,500 for the car. The car was supposed to be sold to me at $7,000, and he put $9,500 on the actual contract.
Did you sign the contract?
Yes, but that's after I did further investigation because...
Wait, how about you just open your eyeballs? The contract says $9,000. The difference is the financing.
Yeah, but he pointed to a couple places on the contract where I thought it was the actual price of the car.
He needs to explain it to you. It's in plain English on a one-page contract.
Yeah,
it's not tiny print. It's not cagey. It's...
Well, they're very deceiving.
That could be.
They've been doing this for a long time, you know. So when he's pointing
writing contracts that say purchase price and balance remaining.
When he's pointing to stuff and when he's going through his stuff, it's very deceiving. We only had like we was half an hour past the time of the place closing. You know,
don't buy. I have an idea. Why don't you just wait until you get your license before you buy a car?
Well,
or don't buy it that night. Or don't go on an empty stomach. Or don't be in a rush. Or open your eyeballs and read. I'm not like I'm kind of not following you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But he.
All right. So now you. But he what? What did he do wrong?
But he definitely did a couple other things also that made me even go look at that contract. You know, like I gave him $1,100 for my insurance. The company only charged him $830 for the insurance. So he pocketed the rest. So what do you
he pocketed the rest?
Yes.
Did you guys pocket the rest over $830?
I actually took it. That's my fee for
a fee?
insurance.
A fee? Well, don't be preposterous. Why would you guys charge a fee?
Well, I'm in business to make money.
You're in business? Go on.
So do used car dealers get a bad rap, or are they really dishonest by nature?
Dishonest by nature.
Why do you say that?
Because they're slime buckets. Because they're used car salesmen. There's a reason that they've coined that term. I think it's pretty much true.
Are you guys buying that? You buying that?
I agree. It's just part of their nature.
It's like you know, alligators bite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Sweetheart, seriously, wait. Why are you suing them? Because you just found out that people charge for their services?
No, he didn't. He didn't tell me he charged for the services.
Oh no, you thought that he was doing it out of the milk of human kindness because everybody owes you? What?
And then he did it again. I paid.
He charged another fee?
No, I paid him $600, and he didn't say it was a fee involved with that. He said it was gonna be $600. You know, and then I found out later on from the insurance company that they only charged them $215.
Yeah, here's the problem with being in your position. You've got a permit. You need insurance. And you've got crappy credit. And you're full of excuses as to why. And if it's true that someone stole your identity, I am really sorry for your misfortune. The other alternative is that you just have crappy credit.
Okay.
And so what happens is, it costs you a lot more to borrow money than it costs me. You understand? There's a difference, okay? So, and that's a misfortune that you have. But most people in your position get it. And they understand that if they want to buy a car and they're financing it, they're going to pay a fee. And if they want to buy insurance through them, you know, you get a quote, you think it's too high, don't pay it. You willingly agreed to pay that amount. Now, there's one thing I'm concerned about, and I want some answers from you. Something about a refund.
Oh, a refund. Actually, there was a refund that came back on insurance money.
Why, though?
Geico sent a refund to the company card that we had.
To the what?
To our company card that we purchased the insurance on for him. So since the refund came back to us and we were unaware of it because we have plenty of transactions going on, what I told him is, out of my pocket, I'm going to pay for your next insurance policy.
Out of your pocket or out of the company?
Out of my own pocket, because I made the error. Out of my own pocket, I said,
what is the error that you made?
We didn't see the transaction. He said there was $173 missing.
That's the refund?
Yeah, that's the refund.
Yeah, but why does that come out of your pocket, not the company?
I'm kind of like the insurance agent. I'm the F&I manager at the dealership. So I made the mistake. I own up for the mistake. I took it out of my own pocket.
Oh, because you're the guy who's supposed to catch the refund.
Yes,
is what
absolutely.
You're saying.
So I didn't catch it. So I said, you know what? Now you have your New York license. You can get your New York insurance. When the New York insurance, you're ready to get the policy, I'm going to pay for your policy to start.
For what? For a month?
To start it for a month. I'll pay for it for the first month. So I paid for it for the first month. And then he called me up 2 weeks later saying that his policy got canceled. Did I cancel it? Absolutely not. I just purchased the policy out of my own pocket. So he called me up threatening me.
Wait, but somebody canceled it.
I didn't cancel it.
How did it get canceled?
I don't know.
I mean, haven't you called them to find out why it was canceled?
No, I'm not.
Was it canceled for non-payment?
No, it was canceled because he called and canceled it.
Okay, why did he call and cancel?
Because he found out I was taking him to court.
Oh, how much was the refund?
$173.
Is that accurate?
173.83. 173.83 was the refund.
Can you prove to me, your answer to that is, but Judge, I bought him a month of insurance. That's the part now I need you to prove.
I did buy him a month of insurance.
No, without you flapping gums,
okay.
I need you to prove it with paperwork.
No, I cannot prove it.
Okay, and then the next question that I have for you is, are you the one who canceled the policy?
No, I am not.
Okay. Why would he cancel a policy?
I Don't know.
It sounds to me like you canceled it when you got the lawsuit.
No, I had actually had the lawsuit before his insurance policy got canceled.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
that you canceled it because you received the lawsuit. I'm going to order you to return the $173.83 refund because that's what I think happened on the last leg. On everything else, you need to put your big boy pants on. And when you buy a car with a one-page contract in plenty big font that is very clear and has nothing hidden, you need to read what you are signing instead of buying the shiny car because it's pretty. Okay? And people eat. He has grown accustomed to eating. So he needs to charge a fee if he's going to give you a service. When you work, you expect to get paid. When they work, they expect to get paid. Okay? That's my verdict.
Hold on, guys.
Let's see what the plaintiff has to say about suing for $5,000 and coming out with what you got out of there, a paltry amount compared to that.
Which is nothing. I just would say, just make sure.
Why don't you know what you're signing in a contract?
Well, no, he pointed to different places on the contract. So, he deceived.
You think you got taken advantage of because you were a little bit naive?
Oh, I definitely got taken advantage of, but it's not over.
Because you were a little bit naive? What you were signing and what you were getting into?
Yeah, I mean, I was naive. I was as naive as he was deceiving.
All right. You head right down this way. Read what you sign around the corner there. All right, step in here. What are you smiling about?
I'm just smiling because, he took us to court, obviously for something that he had remorse over.
Is refund a dirty word in your business?
No, not really. I'll refund it if it's justified.
The big guy has to eat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got to eat.
Harvey?
By the way, used car dealers are generally licensed, which means go to the licensing agency if you have a beef.